Hello and welcome to episode 347 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I talk in this weird game show kind of voice. I thought I'd lost that about 200 episodes ago. Never mind. But I share a piece of simple and actionable advice. It's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. If you're new around here, my name is James Newell. I teach people how to sell for a living. And for me, sales and selling comes in two parts. First, we have to have a clear sales message. People got to understand exactly what you're trying to sell to them, which sounds flippant, but if you've had that problem, it's not so easy to solve. So you have a clear sales message first of all, and then you need selling confidence, the ability to be relaxed and comfortable and confident in a selling situation. You know how to behave, you know what to do and what to say. In today's episode, we're talking about the kind of language that implies confidence. Now, for your buyer, when your buyers are looking at you, they want to see lots of things, but three main things I focus on with my clients and students is confidence, certainty, and expertise. Now, by definition, we're all experts at what we do and what we offer, or at least we should be. We're all certain we can get the end result that we claim to be able to do, or at least we should be able to do that. But it's the confidence of delivery that makes a really big difference, because it's one thing to be good at what you do. It's another thing to be really good at selling and communicating what you do. I could be the world's best carpenter, just for random example, world's best carpenter. But if you ask me, how do you get a certain kind of angle in the wood, blah, blah, blah. If I can't explain that to you clearly, you don't actually think I'm a very good carpenter, do you? Because you make this logical assumption that if he can't tell me how he does something, then how could he actually do it? Which kind of makes logical sense, but it's not true. I can be really, really adept and skilled at being a carpenter and working with wood, and just terrible with communication, nervous about talking, etc. So confidence, certainty, expertise. Confidence, one of the most important factors in communicating with people from the get-go, and one of the things you can use there, the kind of language we can use to inspire confidence in us, is definitive language. Anything, everything, always, never. Words like that, absolute words, definitive words, as long as we're not actively lying or misleading people, if we can say this will do anything you need to get you that and everything that you need to do that, etc., it will always do this, it will never do that. It's not just those four words, but if we can use definitive terminology like that, it implies that you are extremely confident you can deliver. It's just another day at the office for you. It's not your first time at the rodeo, and that's really reassuring for me as a buyer. As a little bonus, another term you can use, which isn't definitive language but works really well as long as it's actually truthful and we're not lying about it, but it's the word usually. So when you're talking to somebody, how does this work? Well, usually, James, what we do here is blah blah blah. So usually, definitive language, like anything, always, never, etc. If you can use confident, definitive language when you're communicating, it will help your buyer to feel like you know what you're talking about, which sounds flippant, but it's very important. And it will get you across this gap, this divide of most people are really good at what they do, or at least they should be, but they're not so great at communicating it. And I'm telling you, adopting definitive language is a simple and effective way to bridge the gap. Right, that's it, as I nearly lost my train of thought. That's it for this episode of the Daily Sales Message. I'm going to check my labyrinthine spreadsheet to see what we're up to tomorrow. Episode 348, of course, it comes after episode 347. Something that has to happen before we make the offer to our buyer. Something very important we have to do before we can even think about offering something to our buyer. But I'll explain more about that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, if you haven't already, hop on over to LinkedIn. You'll find me there, James Newell, Clear Sales Message. Connect with me, shoot me a DM, let me know what you like about the podcast. I hear from loads of people all around the world, and this podcast goes in all sorts of countries. It's crazy. A lot of places I've never even been, which just like blows my mind. But feel free to connect with me there, ask me questions, let me know what you like about the podcast. It's always really great. So I'm not just sat here in my office recording hundreds of videos to myself and getting no feedback at all. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, right. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end on that lonely ending. I'll catch you tomorrow for hopefully a less lonely edition of the Daily Sales Message.